Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our RiseUP Goal Setting Seminar. I'm honored to be your host tonight. This is the very first of its kind for our community, a new step in our goal set ongoing youth development programs. And as such, we have our community members from Halifax and Moncton joining us virtually. Our group has been actively helping youth settle in Canada, find jobs, build resumes, prepare for interviews, and develop essential skills. We have connected youth across 26 centers nationwide, creating opportunity of growth and collaboration. Tonight's event is unique. It's all about the power of setting goal. We believe that having a goal is the first step of achieving anything meaningful in your life. Our Guru says missing a goal is permissible, but not having a goal at all is unacceptable. Whether you're here to set your very first goal or to refine your vision for the future, you're in the right place. We'll learn from inspiring speakers, hear real stories of achievement, and even get hands-on with practical goal mapping activities. So let's rise up together and aim higher than ever before. Now, before we dive in, let's reflect why goal setting is important. Goals gives us clarity, motivations, and a sense of direction. They help us manage our time, track our progress, and turn dreams into reality. Throughout history, people from all walks of life have set goals and achieved the extraordinary. From athletes, entrepreneurs, to everyday heroes in our own community. This event is designed as a foundational step for you to envision where you want to be in the next 30 to 40 years in your life. We are here to help you set realistic, achievable goals that will lead you to financial stability, personal fulfillment, and professional growth. Remember, failure is just a part of the journey, which is excellently portrayed by the famous inventor of light bulbs, Thomas Alva Edison. He failed 10,000 times before he succeeded in inventing the light bulb that we use every single day in our life now. So overcoming setbacks and learning from failures is how we grow. That is the foundation of growth in anybody's life. A great example of overcoming failures is Nick Vujicic. Nick was born without arms or legs, nothing from shoulder out and nothing from hips down. He faced immense physical and emotional challenges. Just imagine if you lose any of your appendages in your life, you would immediately feel so disheartened by anything. Say you're right-handed dominant. Immediately, if you fracture your hand, you'll immediately lose 90% of your daily activities. Because anything, you shake your hand, you use your right hand. Now it's in a fracture cast. You're like, what am I gonna do? Nick had an absurd situation of this, where he had no hands nor legs. He overcame his struggles. He focused, instead of focusing on despair, he chose for hope over hopelessness. Nick learned to swim, surf, and live independently. It took me 20 years before I was able to swim. Most of us might not know how to swim. He had no appendages and he still learned how to swim. He is an excellent example of overcoming setbacks and learning from failures. Tonight, we'll talk about how to keep momentum, overcome obstacles, and stay focused on your goals, towards which we have one of our community leader, Mark Ledwell, with us. Mark is a highly respected business and legal professional with over 35 years of experience. He has advised on major infrastructure, energy, and finance projects across Canada, including transformative Atlantic Canadian initiative like the Confederation Bridge, which we use at least once a month. Mark is deeply committed to community engagement and mentoring. His leadership style is empowering and inclusive, and he brings a wealth of expertise and collaborative spirit to every endeavor. Please join me in welcoming Mark Ledwell. Thank you very much, Mark, for joining us. It's on. Yeah.
It's on? Okay. I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. Thank you for inviting me here this evening. I just want to share with you a bit of my background because I think it can be helpful in how you navigate your way through this thing called life, but more importantly, finding a career that you can settle into. In my career, I've probably employed more than 25,000 people when I stop and think about it in various parts of the world. So I began my career studying English literature. My grade 11 teacher told me I'd never make it to university because I was distracted by many things, but I had this deep desire to study, so I studied English literature and I became a English teacher at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. And there I met people studying English from all over the world, including quite a few people from India at the time, and I became a follower of V.S. Naipaul, who was a famous writer from Trinidad. But then I decided to go to law school, and I went to law school in Western Canada, out in British Columbia. I became a lawyer. And over the years, I then got involved in projects. I built projects in New Brunswick, in British Columbia, in Ontario, in the oil sands in Alberta. And I'm here because I'm from here, and I've come back here. But in my career, I started to run law firms in across Canada, usually headquartered in Toronto. And then I moved to London about 20 years ago, and I was based in London for about 10 years. And while in London, I ran businesses in exotic places like Moscow, in Paris, in Brussels, in Dubai, in Beijing, Guangzhou, Singapore, you name it. So a lot of life experience, a lot of business experience, a lot of legal experience over roughly a 35 to 40 year career. One of the things I find, you talked about goals, and you've got to have them, but you also have to have a plan. But the thing I would say about a plan is always be ready to be flexible, because the best laid plans are often laid to rest. And what turns from plan A could turn into a plan B or a plan C. So it's important, in my view, to be goal-orientated, but to be flexible. And to think about not seizing on something necessarily, but have the ability to veer off in a certain direction if it interests you. If it doesn't interest you, don't do it. But I've never been risk averse. I've embraced opportunities. And sometimes, you know, I've had to go home and say to my wife, what do you think about moving to Europe? Well, I don't know. But if you see an opportunity, sometimes you just have to take it. And you may not know where it's going to take you, but if it's there, don't ignore it. The other thing I would say is surround yourself with good people and people who you can lean on and work collaboratively with. Don't be an island, because that never works. I've built teams, and I'm always trying to build teams. And in building teams, you need diverse groups of people. You should never have yes people or the same kind of people. It means having a lot of diverse views around you. The other thing I would say is in making your plan, think about what's realistic, what's attainable. Don't set it too high. As you get into it, then you'll get excited about it and be able to pursue it. You know, over the years, I've had to say to young people, I don't think this is going to work for you. And those are tough discussions, but I've always taken my time to have them and to say, look, this isn't going to work out for you here. So rather than being disappointed, cut your losses and move on. And sometimes I would say it's a fit issue. it's a chemistry issue, or it's just not going to work out here. And sometimes it's an attitude, sometimes it's the way the business is going, sometimes somebody just doesn't fit. And it's not racial, it's not a sexual thing. It's about a fit. If you're being honest, and it's important that people be honest. I mean, I've had people from all over the world working in various businesses that I've run, and I always am looking for people who will fit in. One of the best mentors that I ever worked with was Richard Branson. Richard Branson's a pretty famous guy. But he always talked about promoting people inside organizations. He valued loyalty. And in my career, I've come to value loyalty. If you're on a team, you need to be treated as a full member of a team. And I think that in your search for the right fit, find a team. Find a team that respects you and values the idea of a team, which kind of leads to my other big comment, and that is networking. I find that the best opportunities come through networks. You've all applied for jobs. I've applied for jobs in my career. You fill out the form, you send it in, you don't know where it's going. You don't know whether it's a trap or just somebody ticking the boxes, but the best way to find your way is through your contacts. And it means developing networks. And it means getting involved in things. And sometimes, networks are through, say, a cricket association. It could be through a political association. It could be through a religious community. But that's where the best leads often come from. It's not on a sheet of paper or in an ad. It's on a word of mouth, particularly in a small community. So I've worked in law, in big construction companies, and big energy companies, public companies, private companies, businesses that I've started, and I've always worked to find people who I know would fit into the team. And sometimes it means sitting down and saying to somebody, look, you've got all the credentials, you have all the skills, you have a resume, but this may not work for you here. And often I would say to them, look, I could push you in and wedge you in, but it's not, in my view, going to be a good fit, so I think you should go somewhere else, and I'll help them go find a job somewhere else. Let's turn to PEI for a moment. And I know we're speaking to people from other parts of Canada. But PEI has opportunities and challenges, and I'm kind of knee-deep in those right now because I came back to PEI about 3 years ago, and find myself now as a candidate to lead a political party and to lead the province. And I see the challenges with the overarching federal laws around immigration and work permits and temporary foreign workers and the whole PR process that you probably know more about than I do. But I think that where I come from on this is that every province needs to define its immigration plan, and it can't stand up and say, well, it's up to Ottawa. It's not up to Ottawa. It's got to be up to PEI. PEI needs to lay the groundwork, the foundation for a made in PEI immigration plan, and I'm committed to doing that. And I noticed that last week the Premier of Alberta said much the same thing. And of course, Quebec in Canada has been very good over the years at developing its own immigration plan. Here, I think a few weeks ago, there was an announcement about the PR numbers for PEI for next year was set at about 1,600 by Ottawa, and that's an allocation that comes from Ottawa to PEI. The other thing I know is that temporary foreign workers and foreign workers are essential to the PEI economy and are essential to the PEI community. I've been around PEI for the last 6 months fairly intensively, meeting with small business leaders and meeting with different communities around the province. And I think there's a bit of anxiety about where are we going with our immigration in PEI. I'm committed to making sure that our immigration routes become clearer, cleaner, more streamlined, and frankly more transparent than they are right now. It bothers me that people can't know the status of an application or can't know the status of where they are in the system or in the immigration stream. I'd like to say that, you know, if I could flick a switch, that everyone who is in PEI today will get status and stay in PEI today. And I think, you know, if that's a goal, talking about goals, that's one of my goals, is to make sure that people who are here can stay here. Why? Because it's home. You've chosen to make PEI home. And that's a powerful statement. And I think I want people who live and work and have families in PEI to make PEI home. I don't want anybody to leave. So I'll fight for that, and I'm going to fight for that. Because I've worked, you know, pretty well in most countries of the world. I've not worked in Australia, I've not worked in South America, but, you know, I've been down around Trinidad and Colombia, and I've been in Brazil a few times, but I just know that we've got this vibrant community opportunity in front of us, and we need to seize it. And these things make PEI richer, and hopefully they make your experience richer as well. But I don't like the anxiety. I don't like the frustration. You know, I talk to people who worry about access to healthcare and worry about their immigration status. So when you wake up in the morning, you worry about these things. You worry about affordability, healthcare, and immigration. So one of the jobs of leaders is to try and chip away at these things and make things just a bit better. I've, you know, worked in some challenging parts of the world. China is different. Russia is different. Ukraine is different. But, you know, so I know what good things we have here. And quite frankly, I know some of the challenges we have here as well in PEI. But I think it is a land of opportunity. The other thing I would end with is this, you know, and you alluded to this in your comments, this is a place where you want to plant your flag and say this is home. And it's a good bet. I mean, I've lived and worked in Toronto, and I know the challenges of commuting and living and some of the challenges that come with living in a congested large city. So we have some real opportunities here. And what I would say is if something's not working out right on a certain day, I won't say try and be patient, because I know that's just too easy to say, but I think it means doubling down might be one way to say it, and bearing down on what it is that you're trying to do. But I'll go back and say one thing. The biggest thing I find are networks, and events like these where you have a chance to see people like me or talk to one another. There's always something coming down the path that you can jump on. And in PEI, for example, right now, the biggest opportunities come with people who have been sitting on businesses for years and don't know what to do with them. They have to either sell them or close them. And, you know, every day I see something, and it's usually with an older person, probably in their 70s, early 80s, have built a business. Sometimes it's a family business. They're not sure what to do. And those folks are looking for an answer. And so there's opportunities there, for example, that I think a lot of people may want to think about and consider. So I'll end it there. If you have any questions, happy to take them. And thanks for coming out, and I hope you have a really successful evening. Thanks.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Mark, again for your time and giving us some very insightful knowledge. I'd like to introduce to you our next speaker, Ghanshyambai Borasania. If I butchered your last name, my sincerest apologies. Ghanshyambai is an Associated Vice President at Buchanan Technologies with over 25 years of experience in IT. He is leading a team of over 80 different resources, which have their own sub-teams. He has led a large-scale database infrastructure project and written a plethora of codes in various programming languages, which are beyond me, and I'm pretty sure for most of us. But it goes to show he is unbelievably knowledgeable and leading with an example in his own industry. Please welcome Ghanshyambai.
Jai Swaminarayan. I'm speaking after a long time, so might be. I'm working from home, so I generally don't interact with much people. So yeah, but pardon me. So as I forgot your name, Mit. So as Mit said, I'm new to Ireland since last 1.5 years, and as Mel told about, immigration process, so company has given the transfer from India to here, and I'm here. What I like about the PEI is, very small island, peaceful. As we know, everybody know about how is Ahmedabad, where I'm coming from. Lots of traffic, hassle, pollution. So it's very nice island where you have opportunities to grow, living a good life. Pollution, public politics and all, you can live apart from that, and then you grow yourself. That is the opportunity here we get it. So I like lots of things here about, laws and other disciplines between the people. Mel has traveled across the world, and you saw how hassle is associated with life. Every in the world, if you look at globally, every country has a different problem. As Mel said about Russia, Ukraine, every small countries, let's say situation in South America, South Africa. I see Canada is wonderful country where, it's detached with all these hassles. And it's very, very calm and peaceful life over here. So this is the, environment where individual people can grow, think, and they can, they spend their energies inside and then come up with some, productive ideas and research and everything. So that's where we got here in, North America as well as in Canada, where these countries are giving opportunity openly to everyone. So generally, speaking at large, I have spent more than 25 years in IT line. So I have seen around 5 turnaround or turmoil in, IT industries. Let's say IT industries is very, very dynamic. Think like that, it is just 50-year-old. Let's say everything is started in 70s, like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, or IBM, where, initially you might have seen, some people might have not seen the floppy disk, or, nowadays everything on Wi-Fi. So those era, let's say, it's a big dynamic in IT industries. Lots of research are going on. Nobody knows what is going to happen after 3 days. A couple of years, let's say 3 years, 4 years, every, let's say 5 years, there will be a totally drastic change in the technology. Think about, let's say, when I have started my career, there was no color monitor. There was like characters, desktops, having characters like FoxPro, COBOL, or those languages we are programming, and it is just displaying the large characters. Might be many banks are using right now, but it is old age technology nowadays. So think like that character display of monitor to now you have a mobile device having QLED or high resolution fonts, what you see very clear. It's not like that. All the equipments, all the programming language, all the tools technology is evolving a very fast pace. Let's say before 4 or 5 years, no one was aware about what is AI. And now everybody is rushing towards the AI. And even within, let's say 4 or 5 years, people are thinking about, let's say, will this AI technology will burst or what? But nothing, those all technologies are over the period it is obsoleting, or it will be becoming our part of our life. Let's say AI will be everywhere. When the cloud was introduced, let's say 15 or 18 years back, people were thinking if our servers or our technology will be in cloud, then all the physical server will wiped out. So there will be no need of the system admin team members or networking team. Everything will be managed by cloud. But no. Now cloud is a part of all the tools technology. Same way, people are thinking like, okay, it's AI will burst or not? No. It will be part of our daily life now. And everybody is talking about AI, but nobody is talking about what is next. But believe me, there will be something more than big than AI. So in, let's say 50 years, think about like in 70s, when the Microsoft or Apple or IBM has started their, firms, and how they are growing and how new opportunities are coming. Now let's say nobody is remembering IBM. People are talking about, let's say, OpenAI, correct? So this change is there, let's say, in IT, and every, let's say, newcomer, or let's say freshers, or if anybody wants to build their career in IT, they have to develop certain characteristic. The first characteristic is like, adaptability. You have to be adept with all the latest trends and technologies. Say example, AI. So today, I'm old age people. Why? Let's say looking at the tool technology wise. So if I don't put, or if I don't run with the pace of the change, then I will be, outdated. Say example, if I don't learn AI, then I cannot get new opportunity or new job. Everybody will ask, okay, do you know anything on AI, or how to use, or what is AI? So if you don't know, that might be you will be not considered for that job. So all the youngsters, newcomers, they have a big potential on the new tools technologies. So thing is, like, everybody has to adapt. It's not with just IT, like every industry is medical, automobile. So new things are keep coming and everybody has to adapt. So that is a basic rule, and you have to be prepared for that. Okay, sometimes ups and sometimes down. After 3-4 years, you will see some change and you will feel that, okay, what will happen now? But you have to start thinking and you have to start adapting those all emerging technologies. And mainly let's say AI, cloud, programming language, scripting. So somewhere you have to be master on that. That will give you the opportunity for new jobs, new, let's say, new openings, because no companies are keeping old people, like old technology people. And that's where you are seeing, let's say, okay, 10,000 people fire or 5,000 people fire. But same time, they are hiring as well with the new skill, new technologies because of this. It's not reason, there is no firm reason like, okay, why they have fire. But that budget might be they are using in some different tools and technology, and where that opportunity comes. So suppose every, let's say, couple of years, you can see big stand from big companies about firing and hiring, and then that's due to that. And then you could be a victim of firing anytime, because depending on the company's policy or their growth plan. So as I think Mel also told, like, okay, so networking, and then nowadays, let's say lots of tools, technology are coming to apply the applications, AI tools. Let's say if I have to apply into 100 company, I can do in a one click. So next era will be, networking will give you a comfort where you can give a reference and apply, or if you, people thinking that, okay, rather than hiring an unknown person, let me hire a known person sometimes, okay? So that give you an opportunity as well. So there are many attributes, like, adaptability, learning new technology. And then moreover, what I believe one more thing is people are losing control on the reading and going into fundamentals. Let's say today we have a mobile or search engine. You have a task-based job. Let's say if I need something, I type that and I get result and my job is done. But nobody is going into inside of the fundamental. And that's where many companies are nowadays, changing the interview style. Let's say nowadays some intelligent tools are coming for interview, where candidate has to type program in front of the laptop, where you have to type, and video share, screen share, everything is there. I know might be somebody has experienced that who have appearing into interview nowadays. So let's say only video will not suffice. You have to perform practically in front of your device, okay? And then over there, search engine will not come in picture, correct? And your own knowledge will come. And that's where, and then people are interactive. While you are typing the code, what happened? They ask question like, okay, why you have written this? Explain me. So that's where people will get catch, okay? So all of those techniques, reading knowledge, deep down into, let's say, fundamental knowledge, those all makes you, comfortable in your next job or like that. I remember when I have started my career, we useful to read the manuals, okay? There was no Google, there was no any PDF or anything. In companies, people when company buys the software, they get a box of the manuals. Like whatever the PDF you are seeing, that will be a printed version. And those manuals are, in India, was available on the Xerox, like photocopy machine shop. So you have to buy that manual, like by spending 1,000 rupees, 500 rupees. And then from there you get it, read it. You have to remember the commands, and then you have to perform on the job. There is no Google, no search engine, no AI techniques. So that's where we feel sometimes like, okay, while interviewing the people, like I took around 700 interviews in my career. So I feel that sometimes people are, switching their career. Let's say from, some X branch, for quick career, they take some, quick course and come into the job. But sometimes, okay, good people make that happen and then get the job. But what happened about, like, say, if you have not cleared the fundamental and people will afraid whether I have to hire this fellow or not, correct? Who is coming to build a quick career. So those things are nowadays, eliminated because of the good institutes, online courses and all. So thing is like, my advice is like, okay, be adaptive and learn all the new technologies. Will give you the opportunity, and always spend some quality time on reading, researching. Let's say every 2 hour, every day 2 to 3 hours is a must to learn new things. If you get time initially, but once you are on the job, you are fine. Like you can work and learn. Okay. So yeah, this is all I have to tell today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for giving me opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ghanshyam, for those very helpful insights. We should be adaptive in any aspect of our life. We should be able to be adjusting any goals on the fly depending on the circumstances changing. As he mentioned, we should have our fundamentals ensured to be fully concrete so that we don't have to run into issues where we simply just lock up and we don't know what to speak next. So thank you very much, Ghanshyam again. As we move on to the main portion of our event today, help me in introducing. I'm losing everything. Just like I just said, fundamentals are essential. I lost my fundamentals and now I'm all over the place. I have no idea what to say next. All right. But having concrete goals helps us. Now, setting a goal, most of us believe, is a single step process, which is not true, which is not even remotely close to being an actual fact. Setting goals have multiple different steps that needs to be taken, that needs to be addressed. We simply assume that, okay, I want to be rich. Fantastic, let me get a high-paying job and I'll be rich. That's not as easy as one might think. So it's my pleasure to introduce our main speaker for the evening, Mananbhai Thadeshwar. Mananbhai is an accomplished marketing strategist and an MBA graduate from the prestigious Schulich School of Business at York University. Schulich is consistently ranked among the top business schools in Canada and is recognized globally for its excellence in management education, regularly placing in the top 10 across Canada and among top 300 worldwide. Mananbhai brings over a decade of experience in marketing communication, strategy, and project management. He currently serves as the Associate Marketing Manager at TD Bank. His career includes impactful roles at TELUS Mobility, Bell Business Markets, and the American Marketing Association, where he has led teams, developed award-winning campaigns, and driven business growth through innovative strategies. Mananbhai is also known for his commitment to mentoring and volunteering, helping youth and professionals achieve their goals across Canada. Please join me in welcoming Mananbhai Thadeshwar, a leader whose expertise and passion for goal setting will inspire us all tonight.
Hello everyone, I just wanted to confirm, am I audible? Is my sound coming through?
Yes.
Okay, I see I hear a yes there.
Yep, we can hear you.
Yep, let me share my screen, and then we can get started. Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Hello, I'm not able to hear anyone. So is the screen being shown? Okay, I got a confirmation. So Yes, we can start about ready, aim, fire, set a goal. It's nicely put, but it doesn't make any sense if we are not able to set a goal and not able to work through in terms of what the process looks like and then actually conquering it in the end. Um, it was lovely hearing to the previous speakers, Kansham and also Mark, on some lovely insights, tips and tricks and trends on goal setting and what's going on in the current world scheme of things. Let me go to the next slide here. The objectives. I wanted to share with you what are the objectives that we want to cover today. So first of all, the importance of goal setting. Secondly, okay, let me just reshare my screen. Can we do share again? Am I able to share the right screen in front of you? Okay, great. So as I was saying, importance, benefits of goal setting. I want to touch more in detail about the goal setting process. This is where the idea of this presentation is where I would like to break it down in terms of steps that are required and which are normally missed when it comes to goal setting process. Interestingly, we also have some myths that we wanted to break today, and then finally Q&A that we can get going as well. So moving along, I'm moving on to the next slide. Why is goal setting important? Somebody has rightly said that goal fuels motivation by giving the mind something to chase. If we don't have anything to look forward to, we will not end up achieving anything, or we might be achieving much lower to our potential. So that is why goal setting is more important. In simple words, I would like to explain what goals is. Goals are the object or the aim of an action, for example, to achieve a specific standard of proficiency, usually within a specified time limit. This is the key word here, usually within a specified time limit. It has to be time bound. In other words, goal is also known to be a SMART goal, where it is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, so that an individual can achieve it. It involves identifying the desired outcomes and developing a plan for achieving them. There is no point in having a goal which is not achievable, not realistic, and in the end, it doesn't motivate you or it is not time bound. So these are all specific and key attributes when it comes to goal setting. I believe that you all are intelligent enough to understand what this definition actually means. So I would go further in the benefits, which will then help you understand what's the importance of the goal setting. So, benefits of goal setting. First benefit, it gives you clarity. When you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve in life, or what you want to achieve in a specific sector, it could be social, it could be physical, it could be spiritual, it could be business, career, or it could be anything that you want to prefer. It could be anything like a short term goal or a long term goal that we'll talk about later. But you need to have clarity on what you want to achieve, and then you can work on achieving that. So I'll take a very basic example, which all of you would be able to relate. Is first of all is PR, right? Everyone wants to be a permanent resident. Everyone wants to be, not everyone, probably some of you would want not to be a Canadian citizen, but it's your choice. So you want to get those benefits of staying in this country who has welcomed you till now, and you want to stay further. But when it comes to getting a PR, you know for sure that you need to have X number of points relevant in the market right now. You need to have a score in the IELTS exam. You need to have relevant work experience to give you those points. And then shuffling around, there would be some nuances that would have come across in recent times that you would want to take care of. But all these factors you can actually focus on because you know the clarity, you have the clarity that you want to become a PR. So this is a very basic example. Now to achieve that, you will have to go through the process, the steps that we will identify later. But what I wanted to show you that this is a goal. It could be any goal. It could be a goal to reduce weight. You need to have clarity on why do you want to reduce weight, what do you want to achieve by reducing your weight, and so on. Next benefit is motivation. So as I told you, goal fuels motivation. So achieving those goals and setting those small targets to achieve those goals actually motivates you to propel forward and to excel and to evolve from wherever you are or whoever you are. I'll give you a very nice example of Arunima Sinha. I don't know how many of you have heard Arunima Sinha's story, but I'll give you a glimpse of what her story is. Back in 2011, if I'm not wrong, if I'm not mistaken the year, maybe 15 years back, where she was actually a national volleyball player. And she was traveling through a train, and some thieves were trying to steal the gold chain she was wearing. There was a fight. She was thrown off the train. There was a train coming from the other track, and her legs got amputated, both of her legs. She has explained her story in detail, which is very motivating and very eye-opening in terms of what could happen in life. So let's um, live every moment. That's one of the takeaways. But what I wanted to tell you is, when she went to the hospital, somebody took her to the hospital. Um, Few days later, somebody asked her, maybe the doctor asked her, "What do you want to do now?" And she rightly just out of anything, I mean, she had some thoughts going on in her mind. She said, "I want to climb Mount Everest." And people started laughing. I mean, obviously, right? Your legs are amputated. It's not that your legs are going to come back. And now you want to climb Mount Everest. So people were mocking her. She was being laughed upon. She was a laughing stock. So basically, what happened is she wanted to meet Bachendri Pal, who was also the first woman who climbed Mount Everest. She told her a dream. This is what she wants to do with her life now because she no longer can play volleyball. And slowly and gradually, Bachendri Pal, she helped Arunima in getting the funds that is required to actually go through that process. What I wanted to share with you is she had goals. That first goal of her was to climb the island peak, which is like 6,165 meters. She had a second goal of climbing Mount Chaser Sangria of 6,622 meters. And the third goal was the tallest mountain in the world, which is like unachievable for an amputee to climb. Nobody has done it in the past, leave it man or woman, but nobody had done it in the past. And then on 4th of January, not 4th of January, she was also sharing a story where when she was going up the hill, lot of people lost their lives. But she had one thing clear in mind, that she wanted to achieve Mount Everest peak at any cost. And to do that, she wanted to give a full 120% attempt without thinking of what the consequences could be and what could happen, what could not happen. Can I do it? Can I not do it? There were some moments, phases in her journey climbing, but at the same time, there were moments where her oxygen cylinder got empty. And with God's grace, she prayed at that time. With God's grace, there was another oxygen cylinder left somewhere where a person had died climbing down. So she got that oxygen cylinder, she climbed up, and finally she was very happy to achieve that and become the first amputee in the world, a woman amputee in the world, to climb Mount Everest. And not to forget, she then climbed seven other peaks. By 4th of January 2019, she climbed the seventh peak on Antarctica, becoming the world's first female amputee to climb the highest peak in all seven continents. Now, if I tell you that I would have told you that she has done this, you would have told, oh, that's okay. She is a special person. Maybe she had some help. She can achieve that, but not me or not anyone else. But if you understand her journey, how she set her goals, how she stuck to her goals, and how she didn't dwindle away from her goal setting, that is where the key is. Where In order to achieve greatness, you need to have goals set and then continuously work on them. The next example is of SpaceX. We all know Tesla, right? We all know Elon Musk. Um, and I wanted to share an example of Falcon 9. So back in 2002, he had specific targets and timelines for his company. So he had a goal of um, he wanted to develop the first reusable rocket, Falcon 9. And Falcon 9 was just named when it was launched, but in 8 years, which is a very ambitious journey and a goal set by Elon Musk to build that rocket and then go to Mars in that rocket. So basically, what I was trying to say here is with the help of time management, with the help of goal setting, time was better managed, and in that, the goal was achieved much earlier than anticipated because they were focused. They didn't move away from their goal. When I say didn't move away from the goal, it means that they continuously evolved and moved towards their goal. So these are some of the benefits which I wanted to share. I want to now go deeper into the goal setting process. So, what's the first step? Identify your goals, right? I mean, there's no point in setting goals, but you need to identify what goals you want to have in your life, what are the specific things you want to achieve in your life, and then you can go towards it. So, when I say identify, there are two ways to do it. One is short term, and the second is long term. Obviously your short term goals are somehow have to be related to your long term goals, or it could be interrelated as well to an extent. I'll give you an example of a job search. I'll take an example of an IT industry, but this is applicable in all industries. It can be applicable in biology, it can be applicable in astronomy, or it can be applicable in any field, business, or whatever you want to term it into, put it into. But this is just a template I want to use today to explain you on how to set goals. First of all, so everybody wants to become a senior manager or a senior executive in a particular company or a particular industry, right? So that's a goal. You can keep that as a goal. There's no harm in doing that. It's a good goal. It's an ambitious goal from where we are right now. We have just graduated. Some of you have just graduated, looking for opportunities and whatnot, right? So but a short-term goal would be an entry level. You cannot reach directly to a senior level position without starting in entry level jobs related to your field. It could be volunteering opportunities as well. Don't forget that experience is what people are looking for. Why they're looking for experience? Because they want certainty. They want guarantee that the resources that we are hiring would perform to an estimated level that they are looking for. That is why they're looking people companies are looking for experience. We on the other side as candidates always face that pressure of I don't have that experience, what do I do? But somehow we are not able to tap opportunities apart from full-time job in your related field or something else, right? What I'm talking about is opportunities like volunteering, even to do a project without getting money, getting paid for it, right? So these are some of the things, opportunities that we sometimes avoid because there's no fruit in the short term. But believe me, in the long term, it will help you a lot. So I was talking about entry level jobs here. At the same time, getting to a senior level is not only about getting to know the technical skills and being efficient in that. It also has to do with management. Any senior level position will involve managing people, will involve managing the stakeholders, will involve managing key partnerships or vendors for your company. Or it could be managing the resources within the company. So a lot of managing is involved when you go to a senior level positions. So you need to have some knowledge about what those management skills are, what those soft skills are that I need to have in order to reach that senior level position. So this is an example of identifying your goals. Let's go into analyzing the goals and then analyzing yourself as well. So when I was looking at analyzing your goals, I remember I wanted to emphasize also on the self part, because a lot of times we always analyze what my goal is. Suppose if I want to work in an X company at an X position, and sometimes we don't or not able to understand ourselves better. What are our strengths and what are our weaknesses? Where are my opportunities and where are the threats? So these are some of the things that you need to do and analyze yourself. What are you good at? It could take time. It's a process, it's a journey. It's not like right now if you're going to sit down and on paper you will write down things, but you have to start somewhere. More and more you analyze about where you are and what goals you want to achieve, what kind of person you are. Slowly and gradually, you'll get more clarity in terms of what my goal should be, or how should I modify my goal in order to achieve what's the best outcome for me. So I list down some of the benefits. For example, you need to have a good pay. Right? These are some of the benefits that you want out of setting a goal. You want a work from home opportunity, which is going to be difficult from now on, because a lot of companies are actually calling the employees back in the office, but that could be one of your goals as well, or not. Then the other goal could be the other thing could be in the analysis part is obstacles. Some of the obstacles realities is that you don't have enough experience, I would say. You have low experience, or you don't have certifications that are required in order to achieve or reach a desired job in your field. Skills and knowledge. You do not have knowledge about programming languages, or it could be in today's world, it could be more on how AI is impacting um, your desired job. You do not have knowledge on cloud computing, for example, if that is one of your areas of interest. So these are skills and knowledge that you need to identify. Where am I right now, and what I need to achieve to have to reach that goal that I want to have in mind. So analyze the goals. People, you need to have contacts in terms of knowing people in the industry you want to go. So for example, in an IT industry, you need to be working in IT, or you need to meet those people. You need to know the in and out of the industry. You need to know the jargons of the industry. You need to know what you need to learn in order to achieve where you want to be going down the line. Because I'm taking an example of IT, this is very relevant, where a lot of people, people have seen that they try to gain knowledge in a particular field, and then they, after a couple of years, still they have gained that knowledge or those skills. Those skills are out of date in the market. So you need to have a long-term vision when you are analyzing your goals and yourself. That also need to analyze the economics around the environment around the industry you want to go in, right? How that is changing rapidly, how the dynamics are shifting, what are people talking about. So these conversations with people around you would help to analyze the goals. And to analyze yourself, you need to have a mentor in life. That's what I always believed in. That's what our Guruji Hari Prabodh Swamiji Maharaj always teaches us, that you need to have a mentor or a guru in life. So, what are some of the SWOT analysis that I was talking about? The strengths. You need to have the skills. The strength is that you have, some of you would have the skills. You know programming, you know bits and pieces of AI on how that can be implemented in your field. But some of the weaknesses, as I mentioned before, are low experience. Opportunities could be that you don't have the knowledge, the certifications, or you want to gain the certifications is an opportunity. Never think of something that you don't have as a lack of, what should I say, lack of something that you're lacking of. The perspective should always be that you want to make that as an opportunity. That is an opportunity for me to go in that direction. Threats. You don't have funds, which is a very relevant example for some of us, right? We don't have funds, enough funds. So the economy is slow. It's not catching up. So these are some of the hard realities that we face in our day-to-day lives. But as I told you, if you understand yourself and understand the goals a bit better than where you are right now, it would help you in the long run a lot. Third is setting measurable targets. Now, lot of times we set goals, we have motivations, we want to achieve this in our life, we want to for example, I'll give you a very random example. You want to travel to different places. That could be one of your goals, because you want to meet people, you want to know the cultures, understand people, how people are growing in their lives around the world. So but if you don't have a target, for what I mean by target is you need to have some target in mind, that you this is the target I want to reach, short term and long term, in order to achieve my goal. So coming back to the job application example, well, this is a very small number that I've put here. But nowadays, as you all know, with the help of AI, with the help of different tools, you can apply to lot number of jobs in a particular week. But if you take any number of any figure right now, so for example, you apply to 100 jobs or 10 jobs, relevant and very specific, that you feel that you are motivated to work in that company every week or probably every day, right? So have a set number of target in mind. That is very helpful. Getting a certification in cloud. There would be umpteen number of cloud certifications in the market. Which is the best one for you right now? So getting a certification, make a target that you want to have this certification done in a particular time. Talking to 5 people working in the industry every week. Now, this is a very small thing, but a lot of people miss this in their day-to-day lives. One of the things that when I was doing my MBA in Schulich, was not the focus was not always on the understanding the concepts or getting to know more about management techniques, and what about know more about the examples of how companies are faring in the market, learnings from that. But the emphasis was more on how do you network with people, how do you meet new people, how do you have small talks with people, how do you get something out of them that you can actually apply in your life. So networking is a very important facet when it comes to goal setting, because that will open your horizon, that will open your mindset in terms of how do you want to achieve your goal, what do you want to achieve, or do you want to modify your goal or not. Attending 2 or 3 networking industry events per month, it could be relevant to your field. So any industry you choose will have their own webinars, will have their own events. You can be a part of seminars and meetups that you can be a part of. So um, get ahead of the curve by knowing which events are happening, or are there any events which I can attend in this on the following month, and then set a target that I want to at least attend 3 networking events in this month. Reading 5 articles every week. As someone rightly said, even Kancham, I was pointing towards that, we have forgotten the art of reading and um, dwelling on thoughts on what have we read, and then applying those in our day-to-day lives, consciously and subconsciously, right? A lot of reading will always help you. It is not that you only have to read about what's happening in your industry. Open your mindset, be very open to reading newer avenues or areas or concepts. For example, what's happening in architecture. Now you must be saying that why I'm supposed to find a job in IT, and now you're asking me to read about architecture. But you never know where your next opportunity is. It could be in that field, and how your IT skills can be applied in the building or construction or the architecture world. You don't know that. That is why you have to keep your options open in terms of learning and reading fascinating things happening around the world, that will keep you on your toes. And whenever you are having conversations with people, you will have those pointers ready with you that you can talk about, and then have that sense of relationship with other people. Um, I'm also a big believer in RQ. I don't know how many people of you know RQ, but this is one of the terminologies one of my mentors back in India told me. So we all know about IQ and EQ, right? Intelligence quotient and emotional quotient. But the important facet nowadays is relationship quotient. How much trust you have on your partner, you have on your colleague, or you have on your manager, or you have on people around you, and same vice versa. That will determine how successful you would be in your life. Because lot of times people don't trust each other, and that is where you're not able to achieve those outcomes that you had planned together, collaborated together in the past. So trust is very important. So these are some of the key insights that I wanted to share you in terms of setting measurable targets. Third is creating an action plan. Now, I think somebody has rightly said um, that a goal there needs to be a plan in order to achieve your goal, right? You need to have an action plan. You can't say that I want to become a millionaire and I don't have any action plan to achieve that. It's fair if you can have that goal, but at the same time you will need to have points jotted down, what you need to do in order to achieve your goal. So, coming back to the example of job, um, customizing the resume to job openings. Now, this is a very, it's a cliche, right? We always say that you have to customize your resume to the keywords and all that, but a lot of people still don't do it. It's very strange that I've met a lot of people in the interviews and they still have not applied um, whatever the job position requirements are into their resume, and they embedded that into the resume, and then explaining why they are relevant for this role, right? So these are some of the things which somehow gets missed even after knowing these points. Learn some new in demand skills. With AI coming in, with technology shifting rapidly, you need to understand what those new in-demand skills could be. Um, right now, I can tell you, for example, TD Bank. TD Bank was is currently also in restructuring process where they are laying off people here and there, but at the same time they are hiring. They're hiring in Salesforce, for example, that I know of, right? Salesforce Marketing Cloud. So that means that this skill is a must if you want to come to a TD Bank, and if you are interested in that kind of a role, then Salesforce is where TD can actually consider you. Or Scrum Master, working in agile methodology. Banks even these days are focused on working on agile methodologies, right? In the processes. So these are some of the tips that you should be aware of. What are the new in-demand skills right now in your particular industry, or your top 5 companies or 10 companies that you want to work in? Getting a cloud certification, I have always also shared that example in the previous slide. Researching IT companies, job openings and demand. Trust me, researching is also one of the facets where an employer would come to know on how keen you are to join the company or join the role, right? What are some of the job openings in demand? It might be that you might be applying for some of the older what should I say, job headings, for example, a sales associate. But there might be different terms or new terms in market that you're not aware of. It's just how you present yourself, how aware you are. Those are some of the key aspects that people look at when they are talking to you. So attending networking events, industry events, which is also key, which I told you before. And last but not the least, making a portfolio of your projects. Whatever you have worked on in the past, be it in school, be it in your personal life, be it in your volunteering life, try to accumulate that and have a handy reckoner, or probably a website. A lot of people do that right now, that you can at least showcase to anyone you're meeting. It's like an elevator pitch, right? If you're meeting someone in the event, in an industry event or a networking event, you need to have some thing that you can show to them, which will give them confidence that whatever you're saying has actually been done by you. So that is very important in terms of these are one of the important step in terms of creating an action plan. So this is some of the list I have, could be relevant. There could be more points, more pointers that you want to look at when creating an action plan. What is the fifth step, which is prioritizing those action items. Now you have done the hard work in terms of setting those what the action plans could be, but you need to prioritize them. You cannot achieve anything and everything, suppose in 1 month. You need to stagger it down, stack it in a way that in a particular time, for example, year or 6 months or 3 years, you would be able to achieve the goal that you have set. So I'll give you an example here. The line items that we looked at in the previous slide, I've tried to prioritize that based on where I am right now, right? It's just an example, it's just a template. It could be different for different people, depending on where you are in your job hunt. So researching IT companies. Now it is very important. So as I told you, you need to understand what you want to apply in. So because some of the things, these are some of the very simple things that people miss out. So this is the first thing that you need to know, that which companies you would be interested to go in. What are some of the job openings in demand? How are people actually working in those roles into the day to day? What does the day to day look like for the role that you are looking for? Customizing job resume to job openings could be a secondary step, a second step after researching more about the IT companies or job openings in demand. Making a portfolio of projects is moves ahead of getting to learn some in-demand skills or getting a cloud certifications, attend networking events, because there's no point of attending a networking event or meeting people if you don't have something to show to them. So you need to have, I'm not saying that's given, but if you think about it logically, it fits that if you have something to show to people you are meeting, it will have a major impact as compared to just talking and discussing things with people around you, because everyone's time is so precious. You have to give importance to that aspect as well. You need to maximize the time that you get from a particular person in order to make an impression. So this is also the next step after planning, which is prioritizing action items. Setting a schedule, what do you want to term it? Schedule. There are a lot of different terminologies for that, but setting a schedule, deadlines for action items. You need to have a specific time that you want to achieve. Remember the definition of goal setting. It has to be time bound. So even the action items for the goal has to be time bound. You achieve it, you don't achieve it, that's a secondary aspect. But you need to have time bound to it. For example, researching IT companies, job openings, although this is an ongoing thing, if you are starting from somewhere, give it a couple of weeks, go in depth in terms of the industry and the companies that you are interested in, and then start to customize your resume job openings. Take so 2 weeks, and then the week after you create a resume to your job openings, making a portfolio of the projects that you've worked in the past. Sometimes some of the steps are already skipped because you are aware about it. You can probably just start right from getting a cloud certification or attending networking events. So keep working on what the realistic time could be in order to achieve those goals. But at the same time, uh, don't be fast and don't be confused, or don't be bothered. Don't be, what should I say? Don't go off the track in order to achieve your goal. If you're not able to achieve, for example, you want to get a cloud certification in 2 months, but sometimes it happens that you might not be able to. You have an injury that has come up, you're not able to focus, you have some family responsibilities that you also have to cater to. So be realistic, and also at the same time understand the environment around you, and then modify the timings accordingly. But a lot of times what happens is we procrastinate. That's not what we want, right? So we have identified we want to achieve, we want to learn about Gen AI, for example, in 2 months. But somehow we say, let's do it the next month. And something also comes up again, let's do it the following month. So that should not be happening often. You need to understand that if you have a goal in mind, you need to have set schedules. A schedule will only be changed if there are some things that is not in your control, or something has come up in an emergency. So be flexible, nimble, but at the same time, you have to be vigilant in terms of you need to understand that you need to achieve this in a specific time. So this is more about scheduling deadlines for action items. The next step would be review periodically in set intervals. So what I mean by this is that um, some of the things are really hard. For example, you um, you want to go in the medical field, right? You want to become a doctor, or you want to become a nurse, or you want to go in science and biology, working in a chemistry lab. But sometimes, even though the concepts you have learned, you're not able to apply those. It is very hard for you to understand what the day-to-day work actually is. So that's normal. It's not rocket. It's not, what should I say? It's not easy for everyone. It's not the same process for everyone. Everyone has their own journey in reaching what they want to, right? So sometimes it could be hard. So what you need to do is you need to understand, take extra time in understanding what those missing pieces are, right? I gave you an example of cloud certification. It could happen that it is very hard for you to understand the certification in the first place. So instead of 2 months, you took 3 months to complete that. That's fine. Modify your goals, review periodically. And the best thing to do that, best way to do that is speaking to people around you. Share your goals, speak to people around you. You feel that could be helpful, and then understand what they're trying to say, understand their perspective, and then apply that to your goal setting and modify accordingly. So identify, analyze, target, plan, prioritize, schedule, and review. These are the 7 steps which are important in the goal setting. You miss one of the steps and you will not be able to achieve, or you might be moderatively achieving goals, not in time bound fashion, and also it could be that you're not able to achieve the goals at all. So what are some of the principles of goal setting? It has to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. It has to be flexible, as I told you before. Don't be fixated that I want to achieve this goal. I'll give you a very relevant example of in recent times where a company like IBM, they the chairman of that company was, I forgot her name. She retired in 2020. She accidentally, actually, a video was made by her for internal purposes only, where in one of the quarters they were not able to achieve the results for the company. Somehow the video got leaked and it got to everyone in the company. Now what happened is, the background here is 69 previous quarters, IBM was able to achieve their targets, was able to perform well in each quarter. But this was one of the quarters where they failed to reach the target. So the video which got viral mentioned a lot about the sales team. They are not working hard. That is why we missed the targets. Blaming them for all the losses that IBM had got in that particular quarter. So what happened? As you would imagine, the morale or the motivation of the team got lower, and a lot of quarters after that, the company was not able to achieve the targets. So it might happen that in the short term, you're not able to achieve it, what you have desired to achieve. But look at the long term picture. If you look at the long term picture, they had achieved 69 quarters the targets, right? But what can they do? What could be the learnings of out of this failure that would help us to evolve further and propel forward? That's what the thinking, the mindset should be in when it comes to setting goals and then trying to achieve them. It has to be challenging enough. You cannot have goals which could be easily achievable. Constantly seeking feedback is also important. And then reorient after setbacks, as I gave you an example. I also like to show and go into the myths in goal setting. So, what are some of the myths? Just identify goals. As I told you, it's a full 7 step process. You just cannot just have identifying goals as one part and then forget about it. It's not like that. Um, Secondly, there is no secret goals. When I say secret goals, there is no such thing as you have to keep your goal to yourself. Be open, share it with people around you. It could be sharing with people who are very different from you, from different industries, from different facets in life, or for different age groups. Get their perspective and try to embed that in your goal setting. Setting small goals. Goals cannot be it's not like you have to set only big goals. It could be that small goals need to be set in order to achieve the big goals. um, Realistic and relevant. Sometimes people have a myth that you have to be relevant and realistic. Oh, I cannot do this. I cannot learn this skill because I'm not good at it, or I don't have the capability to understand the concepts. But it could be that that is the most relevant and important skill in that particular field. So you cannot just skip that because you're not able to, or not, you don't want to go in that direction. Challenge yourself, and then be realistic about it. So it could be that you need more time to understand those concepts, but that if understanding those concepts, it would be very relevant and important for you to then work on that overall project in the long run, right? So don't miss out just because some of the aspects is very hard for you, some of the aspects you're not able to do it. Give some time to it, speak to people around you, and at the same time have ambitious goals as well. There is no such thing as perfect goals. What happens is, I need to build a perfect goal, I need to modify it. You take a lot of time in actually setting up a goal, and then finally you get demotivated after a particular time, and you then stop doing that, and you again start with identifying the goal, and then trying to aim for that perfect goal. You miss out. Once you have a goal in mind, start working on it. That Just go with it and then modify and evolve and shift accordingly. Fixed goals. There is no such thing as fixed goals. You cannot be fixated to a goal. You need to be flexible, nimble. You need to have flexible goals. You need to evolve your goal also with the time. For example, your goal right now is to understand what the impact of AI is in the market of in the industry, right? But it might be that things have evolved 2 3 years down the line. You need to be aware of what's going on in the market right now. Last thing I wanted to share is 5G. This is not network, right? This is not 5G network. This is more about what are the 5Gs in life that will help you to be successful in life. So first is what we discussed till now in those 45 minutes or so is goal. Setting a goal is very important. You need to have something that you need to look up to and achieve that, and the journey is also beautiful as much as the end point. Second, in order to achieve those goals, in order to be successful, in order to be happy in your life, you need to what we all firmly believe in God, because God is always going to be there, is going to support you, is going to be at be with you in terms of any circumstances that might come when you are not able to achieve your goals, or you're stuck in your life, you don't have any directions, you don't have any motivation. Just believing in God can do a lot of things itself. Third is having a guru or a mentor in life. It's very important that you need to have some mentor in life, spiritually as well as financially, as well as in career wise, physically as well. You need to have mentor in your life, because they will constantly guide you. They will be able to look at you from a third party perspective and give some insights which you're not able to identify or you're not able to unlock. That is why having a guru or a mentor in life is very important. Fourth is a Gujarati word, garaj. Garaj is actually the urge that you want to achieve something. It's the drive that I'm talking about. You need to be driven when you are citing a goal and want to achieve that goal, or anything in life. You need to be driven that you want to have that. You want to give 120% when it comes to setting goals and then trying to achieve them. Fifth is grace. Without grace, without the help of God or without the help of spiritual folks around you, grace will not be showered on you, right? So that's what I believe in, that anything and everything could be achievable even though you're not capable enough. But with the help of grace or with the help of krupa, as we always say, you can achieve a lot of things in your life which you have not even imagined of. I would not like to dwell deeper into all those aspects, but sometimes when we meet in person or even folks around you, like Vishwajit Bhai and people who are dignified and also have achieved success in their lives by setting different goals and achieving them, could be a great resource in terms of understanding these concepts and also more about goal setting. I think I have covered everything in my slide. I'm happy to answer some of the questions if we have any, whatever works for you guys. But this is what I wanted to share today. And thank you for inviting me to this session of Rise Up and the setting of goal. I hope I have given some insights that could be useful. If not, that's fine. I will also try to improve based on the feedback that I get. But any questions so far that we want to talk about?
Thank you very much, Manan Bhai, for those powerful insights. Do we have anybody who's got any questions about goals? Viraj Bhai, awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manan Bhai, for sharing all the insights. So
Yeah.
my question is not regarding the goals, but inside of the technology, which one you shared. Like I have one or two questions. So what
Yeah.
skills are currently in high-tech demand in IT space, IT banking, especially in banking or fintech space?
Well, to be honest with you, I will have very few insights when it comes to fintech because I've not worked in fintech. Banking, I can give you some examples. So basically, what banks are looking for is they want to manage the people who come in the bank, because bank is such a complex and a large organization. Managing stakeholders is a very important facet or a skill that you need to have while working in a bank, because there are a lot of different teams that you will be working with. You need to understand what the requirements of those teams are from you and what you require from those teams. So these are some of the soft skills, like managing stakeholders, managing those relationships and building them is important. Secondly, I feel that agile methodology is what um, banks are focusing on. They want to be nimble, but the competition of fintechs in the market, for example, in credit cards that I work in the sector, well, Simple, Tangerine, they are all trying to bring in new methodologies or new concepts in market or new ways of marketing to a consumer, where banks are faced now somehow facing that pressure in terms of how do we achieve that. But with the banks, the drawback comes is they are not able to be very nimble as compared to what the fintechs are, which are on a lower scale, but at the same time they are flexible. They can easily pivot based on consumer demand. So these are some of the insights that I could share with you. I hope that is relevant. But as I told you, I don't work directly in IT. I work more so in marketing. So I would have knowledge and domain expertise in that area.
Thank you. And the last question is like, how do you see the technology is changing banking over the next 3 to 5 years?
I'm not able to listen to the question.
Yeah, I'll repeat. So
Okay.
how do you see technology changing in banking sector over the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, it's a very good question actually. Um, I know we are talking about AI often enough in every gathering or every event that we go to, right? And we talked about it today as well. But the real application has, to my knowledge and my opinion, it's not actually started in the banking sector because it is very difficult to implement AI directly into a bank. Because I'll give you a couple of reasons for that. There are a lot of regulations that banks have to cater to. They cannot move away from that. Uh, the legal and compliance team are very hard in terms of what goes out in the market, because a lot of times with the banks, even if you see any ads that are there in the market from the bank, right, it is very copy heavy. Lot of things has to be said in terms of giving that clarity to the customer on what the products and services we are actually offering. So right now, Gen AI is one of the areas that banks are focusing more on. They want to be involved deeply into Gen AI, generative AI. When it comes to generative AI, it is in terms of building a marketing plan, building those creative concepts and assets quicker and faster than marketing agencies in the market that you partner with. At the same time, if you are in a different field on the financial side, on the operation side of the bank, how does AI apply to your specific role? Some of the tools that are being developed. So those are some of the key areas that bank are now trying to focus on. But at the same time, as I told you, it's still an early phase for banks right now, and they are trying to learn on how they can do it. The banks are constantly observing this small players in market on how they are able to achieve that, and working towards that as well. So these are some of the things. And one of the things I mentioned before, at least for TD, I can say that Salesforce Marketing Cloud is one of the tools that banks are now looking for in terms of job opportunities in market.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Anand. Do we have anybody else who has any questions regarding goal or anything that they have for Anand? Well, seems everybody's being a little shy. Manan I have a question myself. Beyond
Sure.
willpower, what are your favorite techniques for staying focused and refocusing when you get distracted from your short-term or your long-term goal?
I didn't get the first part of your question. What was the question
Sorry,
exactly?
I'll repeat. Beyond willpower, what are
Mhm.
your favorite techniques for staying focused and refocusing when you get distracted from either of your goals, short-term or long-term?
That's a very good question again, right? Because a lot of times you are so focused on you want to achieve things in your life. You want to have X number of things done in your life at a particular age. You try to forget you have to live your life as well, right? In order to do that, it's very important that you identify hobbies that you can work on in your pastime. You need to have an anchor in terms of family or closed ones, as we say, right? That you can share your experiences with them and not boil down under the pressure of reaching that goal day in and day out. It's not a race that we are trying to win here. And thirdly, which is very important for me right now, and since last more than 15 years or so, I've believed in having true friends and good friends in life. Because a lot of times there are some things that you might not be able to share with anyone and everyone probably in your family, but there are some close friends that you relate to, or you have those bonds with them that you can share with in understanding who you truly are and what you want to achieve in life. So be open, be an open book. I try to also meet new people and read about people's journey and people's story, that keeps me motivated. Maybe from other aspects of life, it could be a very different aspect that is not related to my field. So these are some of the things that I try to do. I might be successful sometimes, might not be, but this is the journey what I'm going towards, and I'm very happy and very blessed in terms of what I've tried to achieve in my life because of these factors.
Thank you so much, Mananbhai, for that explanation. It obviously helped me a lot. I'm pretty sure it's going to help most of us out when we get distracted from our goals. Thank you so much again for your time, and please give a big round of applause for Mananbhai for his fantastic explanation on goals. Right, so as we wrap up the evening, remember, goal setting is not just about the destination. It's about the journey, the growth, and the resilience you build along the way. Because most of us will face some sort of hiccups throughout our journey. And the more hiccups we go through, the more resilient we'll become to any future unexpected changes. In order to make sure that we build up our resilience and not give up on our life, we have some of excellent mentors in our community. Vishwajit Bhai is one of the best examples, Mrugesh Bhai is an example, Sunny Bhai is an example. So we can reach out to them with any questions we have regarding if you have, say, stage fright, or if you're just concerned about your privacy, you can reach out to them privately. We also have an active WhatsApp community group dedicated to supporting events like this across Canada. The link will be shared to the group shortly to join the group. We encourage you to become the part of this network. Within the group, you'll find members, admins of our HariPrabodham Parivar, each bringing expertise from their respective fields such as HR, IT, pharmacy, engineering, AI, and many, many more that I simply can't remember. By joining, you'll gain access to resources that will help you build your resume, prepare for your interviews, apply for jobs, which most of us have to go through for a majority of our life. And it will also help us stay informed about any new changes happening in certain industries within certain zones. And before you leave tonight, set at least one short-term and one long-term goal to make a concrete plan and achieve it. If you do that, this event will have been a success for you. We welcome your feedback to make the future events better. Stay connected through our WhatsApp group and weekly assemblies, and let's continue to rise up and conquer our goals together. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to Vishu Bhai, Mrugesh Bhai, Sunny Bhai, as I mentioned earlier, and they will get you going in the direction of your problem's resolution. Be sure to appreciate our kitchen team tonight for the delicious dinner that they have prepared for us. As you enjoy your meal, continue the conversation with whoever's sitting next to you. Discuss your goals, your plans, and how you can hold each other accountable. Remember, the more you share, the more you learn and grow, and having at least one person keeping you accountable will keep you more focused towards your goal. Sajanan Swami Maharaj Ni Jai.